my year talking about this, but I'm still not over it. Okay, you can call me whatever. I'm sure everybody knows by now the Rams Saints NFC Championship game 6 years ago. Well, now it'd be 5 years ago. But we need a deep rewind to both of these teams, all right? I'm not going to show you any graphics. You're just going to hear me speaking. Whoever comes on can grace their opinion too. We must start with the Saints playing the Rams. Yes, these boys. How did these teams get out? Well, first of all, the Rams, they were garbage. Straight buns. From 2003 to 2016. But then 2017 had their first winning season in 14 years. That is 14 years of garbage. There was a point where they had 3 wins. Then the year after that, they had 2 wins. Then the year after that, they won 1 singular game. They were pretty garbage. The Saints were also garbage until 2006 when Sean Payton and Drew Brees were brought over. And yes, I found my Hurricane Mike shirt. So what brings me here today? I was watching a video, and he was basically doing, shout out to Secret Base. He was basically doing what I'm doing right now. Saints played the Rams earlier that same season, where the Saints, they were dominant. They were up 35-14. The Rams were making it a game. They tied the game, and the Saints scored 10 straight points to end the Rams, or to end the game. And then the Saints are a weird team. They were able to basically churn garbage into, and they were able to salvage that. Sean Payton brought over Drew Brees, and that would not be, and they would not regret it. They would not regret it. You see, the Saints, they brought over Sean Payton and Drew Brees in 2006, and they made the NFC Championship game a year later. And then 3 years later, they made it back. But then instead of losing that one, they won that game. And then they made the Super Bowl where they would eventually beat Peyton Manning-led Colts. But then it was downhill from there. We made the playoffs. Then it was Beastquake. Then it was the catch number 3. Then it was the other Seattle game, whatever you want to call it, the forward pass or whatever. Then we had like a stretch where it would be 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. Then we got back to our winning ways, won 11 games the following year, but then the Minneapolis Miracle happened. Then things changed. We thought it couldn't get worse than that. But, and it's a big one, pause. How do I say this? In the NFC Championship game, the Saints are playing the Rams. The Saints, they were struggling against the Eagles the previous week, where they were down 14-0, but then they scored 20 straight points and ended the Eagles' hopes. And the Rams, I mean, they were pretty dominant against the Cowboys. But then it changed. The Saints, they were there. The New Orleans Saints, they were able to make the NFC Championship game for the first time since they won the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts back in 2010. It was pretty fine. Now let's go back. Now let's take a deep dive of that game. You know, for the Saints, you know, they were playing amazing. The crowd was getting into it. The Saints got a couple field goals to start, but then they went on a touchdown drive to go up 13-0. And then the Rams, you know, they were able to get a field goal plus a touchdown to go into the half. It's 13-10. Both teams are still playing amazing offensively in the second half. But now we get into the deep dive. With 2 minutes and 14 seconds left of regulation, Drew Brees throws a deep bomb to Ted Ginn Jr., which he comes down with. A jump ball, Ginn comes down with it, and a lot of Saints fans are like, come on, man, let's punch our ticket in. They thought that was the dagger. But now we get into what I want to talk about. The Saints have a 3rd and 10. If they convert, it's game over. If they don't, you know what happened. Drew Brees threw a floating pass to Tommy Lee Lewis, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm also against the refs. Don't get me wrong, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be live right now. But the thing is, Drew Brees, though, I love you. You're actually the first jersey I ever owned. However, he had a wide open touchdown, but he wasn't even looking to that side of the field. That I do think Drew messed up on that throw. But then it shouldn't even have mattered. If there's a flag, I don't care how bad your decision making is. If there's a flag, call it. Then we knew what happened after that. Go to overtime. Well, first the Rams had the ball where they were driving. Then they kicked the field goal to send it to OT. But now I want to get into overtime because people are like, "I still could have won in overtime." The refs basically tried to say sorry for actually calling a pass interference. But then there was another flag. There's actually 2 flags that didn't get called. Go look at it. Go look at overtime. The New Orleans Saints had the ball. First, their defensive lineman or their linebacker or whoever he was freaking chopped Alvin Kamara in the side of the head. That's number 1. But on that same play, which was the interception play, that same play, Michael Thomas got help. Like, dude, he got the jersey. Like, he was literally holding Michael Thomas so he couldn't run the route. So people were like, that was a terrible throw by Brees. How, man, bro, if that was not holding, the worst thing that happened on the play is an incomplete pass. But, let's get it. Then they start marching down the field. Then they're in line for a 57-yard field goal, which if he hits it, the Rams move on. If he misses, then the Saints still have a chance to make sure that their season doesn't end. But I'm sure as Saints fans, we all know what happened. He drills it, and the Rams go on to play the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl and only put up 3 points. 3 points. Start talking about downfall. But I hope whoever jumped in the stream liked the stream. I saw that we had 1 view. So I hope he liked the stream, but then to be fair, we liked that. I don't think he would have just left like that. But yeah. So like, subscribe, share, turn the bell onto them is another stream like this. Whew. Man. But yeah, it's always who that.